Alright guys, welcome to the video today. In this video we're taking a look at 3 weapons that I think you should be using post-patch. I kind of refrained from doing weapons like Ice Luna and Matador where everyone kind of obviously knows they're super good weapons and they're still going to perform incredibly well after this patch. Just that I feel like you kind of have to have a certain role on those weapons to make them good in the first place and everyone kind of already knows about them. So I'm mainly sticking to exotics and vendor weapons. That way, if you see this video and you're like, wow, I want to try out that weapon, then there you go. You can go to a vendor and pick it up, or if it's an exotic, there's not going to be any sort of weird thing where you don't have the same role as I do. Every exotic has the same role, so that's kind of the best way for me to do this video. The first weapon on the list is the Palindrome. I'm sure you guys could have probably told just by watching the first few minutes of gameplay. I just wanted to say that Rangefinder is an extremely essential and extremely useful perk post patch. It pushes back the damage fall off by quite a bit. It also adds a little bit more target requisition or acquisition. I don't know why I said requisition. Target acquisition, which is basically aim assist at longer ranges. It overall just feels really crispy out of range, and for me Palindrome was feeling super good the first day after the update. So in this gameplay right here, what I did is I went to control and I said I'm not using any nades, I'm not using any melees, I'm not using super, none of that. So I'm only strictly primary only. I finished the game with 35 kills with my Palindrome. I'll put a screenshot of that on the top right corner of the screen. But it's overall just super consistent weapon, probably the best hit registration out there. I really don't like the recoil pattern and the handling. That's why I personally use a Luna. But for anyone who wants to get into hand cannons and doesn't have a good one already, then stopping by the Crucible vendor and picking up this weapon for 150 legendary marks will be one of the best decisions you've probably made in a long time. Next on the list, we have the Wormwood, which is the vendor sidearm for a future war cult. And this has been the sidearm because we've kind of had a weird little sidearm, at least in trials. It's been more of a sidearm meta recently. And for the people on Twitter, for the people in Twitch chats, everyone has been wondering, or for people that are coming back into the game and they realize that everyone is using sidearms now, what is a good sidearm to use? And generally not a lot of people, at least me personally, I didn't own a sidearm previous to this patch, so I didn't really know where to go. But this is like the general sidearm where if you don't have a good one, if you don't have a good roll on some different variation of it, this is kind of the go-to weapon. So as far as rolls it has, I'm not quite sure. I'm not a sidearm expert. I'm not quite sure if the sights matter too much, but it has true sight, fast draw, and quick draw. For the other perks, you have a choice between high caliber rounds and quick draw, as well as a choice between hand loaded and Zen moment. And then finally, with the final perk, you have hidden hand. If you're wondering specifically what perks I'm using in this gameplay, like I said, I am no sidearm expert, so these perks are definitely not like hands down the best perks you could possibly choose out of the ones given, but I'm running true sight, high caliber rounds, Zen moment, and then obviously hidden hand. Sidearms are really fun to use every once in a while. I find it gets a little bit stale if you use it for too long, but if you want to run into a rumble and pair it with like a No Land Beyond or some sort of long range weapon like a scout or a Mida or whatever, then it's pretty fun to use. The final weapon on this quick little list that I've compiled is my favorite one. It's one that I've been using for 2.5 years, and it was like my original very favorite gun in the game. I used it forever, and it slowly kind of faded into the shadows. I actually made a full video talking about this weapon, and I spent like an hour and a half, 2 hours making it, and I decided that it would be better if I just include it in this video. But it's definitely one of my favorites. After the patch, it feels super nice because you can always rely on that first shot hitting for the most part. You'll notice that sometimes if you're spamming bullets, that you will still get ghost bullets every once in a while. But as far as that first shot hitting at that medium kind of optimal range, because with Hawkmoon you kind of have to face it, right? Like with the stability and how bad it is, even if you do hit one shot at a really long range, you're definitely not going to be able to finish the person off and like get the whole kill on them. But when you're close, man, and you can rely on those shots hitting, it feels so much better. There were opportunities, or there are times in PvP where I was playing, and with Hawkmoon you have to remember you have a really large magazine size. You have 13 bullets in every mag, so every time you're reloading you get a fresh set of 13 bullets to shoot at people. So there are times when there's just a ton of people around and a lot of them are weak, and when you can go and swap from target to target and just nail them with all your shots shots landing, it reminded me, obviously it's not the same, but it reminded me of how the Hawk Moon acted in year 1. And for the players who never got to experience it, right now is the closest you're gonna get. And for the players that loved using it in year 1 and haven't touched it for the last, year and a half or whatever it's been, go ahead and go back, give it a try. It's not going to be as amazing as it was in the past, but overall, it's not horrible. If you're wondering exactly what I'm using, obviously you get the same perks with every roll. You have hammer fours, you have holding aces, you have luck in the chamber, and then you have a ballistics choice of accurized ballistics, field choke, and aggressive. Right now I am currently using accurized. I found that just getting as much stability as possible is the most important thing with how the weapon operates kind of right now. That's gonna do it for the video today. I know it's kind of obvious, I mentioned it earlier in my video, that weapons like IS Luna and Matador are obviously extremely good, and I mainly wanted to compile this list for new players or players that are coming back that are wondering, what are some good weapons I can get right off the bat that are strong and can be purchased right now at the vendor. So I didn't want to say like, oh look, my answering cord auto rifle is super good, mine has perfect balance, counter balance, and all these perks on it that aren't attainable for everyone, and then them just walking away from the video not gaining really any knowledge from it. So I have 2 vendor weapons which you can go ahead and buy right now, and 1 iconic weapon from the past that with this patch has gotten a lot better than it was previously. So yeah, that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I got some more videos coming soon. I've gotten a little bit too comfortable with my place here on YouTube, so the uploads have kind of frozen for a bit, but I'm back full force. I'll be thinking obviously constantly throughout the day for video ideas and all that, and thanks for keeping on watching me, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Peace. One more thing is that there's been this weird thing going on with YouTube for people who are on mobile where they don't get my videos in their sub box. So you want to make sure that you don't miss a video, go ahead and go to my name and click the bell for notifications. That's truly gonna wrap it up for the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.